football games, obviously, with defense and the kicking game, and the offense entertains people. We didn't entertain a whole lot of people this year, but we scored enough points to win. And obviously, when it comes down to the Auburn game, it was all on the line, and that's what college football is all about.
I have a feeling that our people that come to the University of Alabama, they get caught up with tradition and pride, and I think they'll reach down and play better than they're capable, play harder than they should or could or want to, and like I say, I may be a little prejudiced, but I think that red jersey does something to people.
Thus unfolded the plot on a December afternoon when Crimson Tide pride was put on the line against the most bitter of rivals. Alabama 16, Auburn 7. Young men wearing crimson secured victory in a manner befitting of Alabama tradition. Rock-solid defense and an unyielding determination to win. Then the victors left the madness in the stadium to contemplate the sweet taste with their leader in the privacy of their dressing room.
I can't really explain how I feel. It took us 5 years to get here and to this point and beat Auburn. We came out today and we did that. We beat them convincingly, physically, every way you want to think about it.
We've lost for our last 4 in a row, and I really didn't want to leave here without winning at least one. And, I go home and hang my head sometime and just listen to the Auburn fans, but I'm going to go home and do enough bragging to make up for those last 4 years.
I think it's good that his first year here, he beat them. I mean, it was wonderful, and I think it's good for the younger guys to experience it because it was something that I had never experienced, so I couldn't explain it to them. I think it was a great feeling.
It feels great, Gary, and we've been here a long time, hadn't we? And to go out there and to take care of business like we did today, it was an excellent feeling, and it's got Alabama going in the right way, and maybe we'll get some of them recruits in here.
I kind of agree
Like
with
our
Roger.
class.
I agree with Roger. It was a big win for us, and especially for the seniors, not having beaten Auburn in 4 years, and to finish up the way we did, I think it says a lot.
They need to get a class like us in here, don't they?
That's right.
That's right.
You already got one of these, but here's another one.
To the victors with the spoils, bragging rights, and a berth in the Fiesta Bowl. Meanwhile, the coach, Gene Stallings, got a game ball he will covet, plus a lot of memories from an exciting afternoon.
One for keeping. It's in my house, and it's going to stay in my house, and it's one that I'll treasure for a long time. I enjoy the big games, really. We had a couple of weeks of preparation, and things that bothered me a little bit was maybe we would get the football team ready to play too quickly. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted them to peak about the right time, and I think that's what happened. We began to get a little edgy on Thursday, and getting our game face on Friday and played on Saturday, and it was an outstanding game for us. We just refused to lose a football game. We were going to do everything that we could to win it. I tried to make a plea to the player that let's everybody make a difference in the game. When the game is over and we're reflecting back, I made a difference. I made a tackle, I made a trap, I pressured the quarterback, I caught a good play, I protected him, made a good run, whatever it was. And I think that's really what happened. When I look back at the Auburn game, I can think of 15 to 20 different players that I thought that made key plays in the game. Started off early, where I thought that George Thornton stopping him in the first play, and then Byron trapping him, and then Efren Thomas intercepting the pass for a touchdown, and getting him back to the 5. And then it was a key screen pass where Chris Anderson caught the ball, and Gary threw it to him. Hey, I've named 5 or 6 guys already. The key kickoff return starting the second half. Brian Stutson getting an interception that resulted in 3 points. Now all of a sudden, Philip Doyle coming in and kicking 3 field goals, and Junior Sewell carrying the ball, and Derek Lassick catching a key third down pass. That's what I think about when I think of this particular game. Everybody made a contribution.
Football fans from the state of Alabama have always considered the annual battle between the Crimson Tide and Tigers something special. That's why more than 75,000 showed up at Legion Field, with many arriving several hours before the opening kickoff. While all fans get excited when the Crimson Tide goes on stage, some were more zany than others.
Yes.
Number 1 rivalry in the nation.
But as colorful as a pregame scene can be, it pales in comparison to what happens inside the stadium. After all, an Alabama-Auburn game is for bragging rights, so nothing is more important than what transpires on the playing field. Alabama entered its season-ending game against Auburn on a roll. The Crimson Tide lost its first 3 games, all by narrow margins, but then won 6 out of its next 7. On the other hand, Auburn was faltering. The Tigers were talking about winning a national championship at midseason, but had lost 2 of their most recent 3 games. So Alabama rolled into Legion Field as a 1-point favorite, and with an inspiring defense that had allowed only 2 touchdowns in the most recent 6 games. The crowd crowd was at a fever pitch for the 55th renewal of the most intense rivalry in America. But as hungry as Alabama fans were for victory over Auburn, their collective confidence was nothing like that felt by Crimson Tide players. That became more obvious when Alabama won the coin toss and decided to let Auburn have the football first. The Crimson Tide knew the Tigers would have a hard time scoring on a defensive unit that had become the talk of the nation. No doubt, the tone for the struggle was set on the opening possession when George Thornton stopped Stacy Danley on the opening play, and Byron Holbrooks let Auburn quarterback Stan White know what the Iron Bowl is all about. It quickly became apparent that nerves were on edge, on the playing field and in the stands. Rattled in more ways than one, the Auburn quarterback tossed the football up for grabs, and Ephraim Thomas was there to claim it for Alabama. He returned it to the Tigers' 5-yard line and heightened the emotion the Crimson Tide had carried into the game. It took Alabama only 3 plays to capitalize on the first opportunity of the afternoon. With barely 3 minutes elapsed, Robert Jones was in the end zone and Philip Doyle was kicking. The inspired Crimson Tide had a 7-0 lead before fans had settled in their seats. Taking advantage of a 28-yard punt return by Shane Wasden, the Tigers found some growl late in the first quarter. Starting at their 40-yard line, they moved up the field. The key plays were a 29-yard pass from Stan White to James Joseph and a controversial pass interference penalty that gave Auburn a first down at the Alabama 17. But the Auburn offense got cute and fumbled. George Thornton fell on the football for the Crimson Tide, giving the gallant defensive unit a much-needed rest. Alabama had reason to dance after the first 15 minutes. No matter how anxious Alabama fans became after Auburn moved the football early in the second quarter, it soon became more apparent that the Crimson Tide's defense was in control. After the Tigers marched to a first down at the Alabama 23-yard line, Stan White attempted to pass and was nailed for a 16-yard loss by Stacy Harrison.
White attempted to pass.
There was relief and jubilation on the Crimson Tide sideline. Although the Alabama offense was erratic on its first possession of the second quarter, it displayed encouraging flashes that indicated the lead would be padded. Suddenly, quarterback Gary Hollingsworth was finding some open pass receivers. On occasion, Crimson Tide runners found cracks in the tough Auburn defense. More than a few times during the 12-play drive, the Alabama quarterback was forced to run for his life. However, he remained cool under pressure and moved the offense toward the end zone. But instead of cheering, Crimson Tide fans gulped on the 10th play of the drive when the quarterback was sacked and stayed on the ground at the Tigers' 38-yard line. Enter his replacement, Scott Eder. Then Tank Williamson to punt. With about 6 minutes remaining before halftime, the Alabama defense again produced magic. Robert Stewart was rugged and emotional. John Sullins was in the right spot. Then came the big play, a pass interception by Brian Stetson, who returned the football to the Auburn 23-yard line. when it became apparent the Auburn defense was going to be tough. Even with Gary Hollingsworth back in the game at quarterback, Philip Doyle loosened up his right leg on the sideline. Alabama fans knew the 31-yard field goal attempt would be a breeze for the record-shattering place kicker. With about 2 minutes remaining in the first half, it was Alabama 10, Auburn nothing. Then came a shocking development, a fumble that gave Auburn players and fans hope with about a minute remaining before halftime. Starting at the Alabama 38-yard line, Auburn stumbled on its first 2 plays. But James Joseph caught a pass from Stan White on the 3rd play and ran to a first down at the Crimson Tide 8. With 5 seconds remaining on the scoreboard clock, a well-covered Fred Baxter caught a touchdown pass. The extra point by Jim Von Weil cut the Alabama lead to 3 points. As dusk approached at Legion Field, the prevailing thought at halftime was that the game was still up in the air. While Alabama had appeared to be the more inspired team during the first half, these statistics were relatively even, and Auburn had momentum because of its touchdown just before the intermission. There was little doubt that the first 5 minutes of the second half would be pivotal. With offenses struggling, fans from both Alabama and Auburn dreaded the thought of a fumble or a pass interception that might turn the game. So, the stage was set for a slugfest during the next 30 minutes with bragging rights hanging in the balance, with everybody thinking a crucial play would come. With a familiar roar echoing through the stadium, it didn't take long for another Alabama star to ascend. Kevin Lee took the second half kickoff and returned it 61 yards to the Auburn 38-yard line. Through the first 10 minutes of the third quarter, defenses dominated and a slugfest developed. Alabama stars John Sullins, Mark McMillan, Ephraim Thomas, Derek Oden, and their defensive teammates tamed the Tigers on their first 4 possessions with some powerful hitting. In fact, Auburn managed -6 yards rushing during the entire second half. It was punt, 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 and punt for the Tigers. Quarter was such a defensive show that it appeared neither team would score another point. But Alabama running back Junior Sewell had other ideas after the Crimson Tide took possession at its 44-yard line with about 4 minutes remaining. Auburn defenders saw all they wanted of number 42 as he ran for 30 yards on 4 carries during an 8-play drive. He had 64 yards rushing during the game. When the Alabama march stalled at the Auburn 23-yard line, the Tigers squirmed when they saw number 17 trotting back onto the playing field. Philip Doyle made a 40-yard field goal to kick the lead to 13-7 with 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. How aroused was Alabama? Herbert Casey of Auburn discovered that the fire was blazing when he encountered Lemansky Hall and Antonio Langham on the ensuing kickoff. The Crimson Tide was hot, and so were its fans. Alabama fans struggled for breath early in the fourth quarter when a fumble gave the Tigers the football deep in Crimson Tide territory. Meanwhile, Auburn fans sensed a rally. But again, the Alabama defense reared its head and showed Crimson Tide pride. On the third down at the 8-yard line, Fred Baxter fumbled and Byron Holbrooks recovered the football. When the officials sorted out the mess, the roar of the crowd told the story. The momentum belonged to Alabama. With about 10 minutes remaining and Alabama clinging to its precarious 6-point lead, the Crimson Tide defense was put to another test. Again, it passed with honors, with Spencer Hammond setting the pace with a quarterback sack. Coach Gene Stallings liked what he saw, particularly Auburn in punt formation after the Tigers chose not to risk another play against the Crimson Tide defense on 4th down with 1 yard to go at their 40. Then Alabama brought forth the hammer, a relentless offense that moved the football 48 yards, close enough for Philip Doyle to end all debates with a 40-yard field goal that made him the most prolific place kicker in Southeastern Conference history. During the drive from the Alabama 29-yard line to the Auburn 23, the young men to watch were Gary Hollingsworth, who was cool under pressure, Martin Houston, who was tough while running, and Junior Sewell, who continued to cut up the Tigers. The play to remember was a run for a first down on 4th down, with 1 yard to go at the Auburn 47-yard line. Crimson Tide wanted to do after that was hold the ball until the time arrived for Alabama to put Auburn to rest for good. It came with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. The snap from center was good. The kick was good. Look at the scoreboard. Alabama 16, Auburn 7. Strike up the $1 million band. Let the celebration begin.
Said enough good things about the players and staff, and you know, our support staff. Everybody hung in. It was a big game. You know, the game before, you know, we start off losing 3 and coming out and winning, you know, 7 out of the next 8. It really shows a lot of class on behalf of the players, and I'm just tickled with that.